Hey, I'm your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield, and with you this week is
Jaimie Filer
and
Dustin Benzing.
and this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
All right, returning to the basement. Again, keeping the spooky season. Jaimie Filer is back as the coach. Jaimie, how's it going, dude?
That's good. How are you all?
Not bad, man. Chilling, hanging out. I'm excited about today. Our buddy Dustin's here with us. Dude, how's it going?
Going great.
First time on the show.
First timer.
First timer, which is always cool to get somebody new in the basement to chat with. Listener, before we jump in, let's just do this real quick. You want to find me at NeoToKnow on Instagram. That's where my link tree is to get to everything else. You can find Jaimie on IG at Jaimie_Filer. You can find Dustin. His personal IG is Blockwatch Captain, and his business is Earth 2 Kentucky. That's number 2 Kentucky, and of course you can go to earth2kentucky.com. All right. Why did I speed through this and not have like a very robust opening? Because this, dude, Jaimie, we're sitting with the fucking colonel.
We have a colonel in the house.
Dude, how does one become a Kentucky colonel, Dustin? Like how like do you have to apply for this? Is it like enrolling in the military, or like you have to apply to go to school, or does somebody tap you on the shoulder? It's like, I would like to sponsor you into colonelhood.
So yeah, it's kind of you actually have to have somebody recommend you to become a colonel. So it was actually a surprise for my birthday, maybe 5 years ago, something like that. So yeah, it was because I've always wanted to be one. I think that's such a rad thing.
It's
and
awesome.
You can't really wear the white suit with the tie and not be a colonel. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
it was that was my goal. So
Okay, so for the listener, like people outside of Kentucky, like what is a Kentucky colonel? Like what is it?
So, it's essentially a philanthropic organization these days. I think it started out as like, they were like Camp to Aid. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but actually like sort of appointed war strategists to like the governor of Kentucky during like maybe the
Sick.
yeah, like now I'm gonna show like how little
No, in my head I'm just saying like a bunch of dudes in like white suit with bourbon, like sitting around being like, just fucking put them in a line and shoot each other with muskets. Like what?
Don't we have cannons?
Yeah, we got cannons, right? Can we get more cannons?
More bourbon. Bourbon cannons. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got an idea. What if we put camo on? It's like, Ted, no, that's not how gentlemen fight. Okay,
Gentlemen fight in white suits.
You get in a line and you shoot at each other. That's the way it works. Until rifling during the Civil War, and that fucks everything up. But before then, you got to fight like a gentleman.
Straight
I
line.
think it was their idea to tie a knife to the end of their rifles, you know,
To bayonet
so,
people.
Yeah.
Colonels are brutal.
Yeah. Innovators. Yeah.
They're like, this reloading shit really takes a good long time. But you know, you got a knife on there. You just run it right through. It's just...
Jim, you ever look at this thing and think like it could be a spear and a gun?
Sold.
Holy shit. That dude was thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I hope they double coloneled that dude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they didn't tie like knives to the cannonballs, but that's just me.
I just say put knives on everything.
I agree.
You should have been a colonel.
I know.
Yeah.
See, it would have been scary.
I think that's the move, Jaimie.
Just everything has a knife on it.
We're bald white guys with a lot of tattoos. Obviously, we need to open a tactical company, and we just make it so you can put knives on anything.
Knives on anything. That's the actual name of the company.
Yeah, knives on anything. 357 knife.
Yeah.
We're just putting bayonets on the end of every kind of gun you can think of.
Dog collars, knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
38 special bayonet. Like the bayonet's longer than the gun. Doesn't matter. Cool. That's what we're offering.
What about like a katana on a 38 special? That's like actually like some video game shit.
That is true. We are getting video game with it, but I like it. I'm not against this idea. Dude, you put a katana on the end of a 12 gauge shotgun.
Yeah, that's Walking Dead killer.
Hello, apocalypse.
Yeah.
You're covering a lot of bases with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm accident.
all right, listener, don't steal our $1 million idea. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Thank you for being serendipity and a colonel.
It's true. It's the gentleman in them.
Is it like a fraternity thing where like you have to go through like a hazing process to be coloneled, or is there like acts you must complete? Like do you have to do many like side quests? Like how's this work?
No, you have to write like a really small check.
Sick. All right, awesome.
And you have to do that every year.
That's the move.
I was gonna say too, like it feels like you would have to go to like ribbon cuttings in random places in Kentucky. They're like new Walmart opening up, and you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
I
Wait,
want to drive all
you know, my favorite thing about it that I haven't done yet is that you're invited to a free pancake breakfast for the Kentucky Derby every year.
Dustin, you
Hell,
have to
dude,
go.
I know.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
right?
You
that's
have to.
That's the whole point. That's where the movers and the shakers are talking
Right.
about, baby. You got to get there.
At that pancake is when you explain cannonballs with knives on them.
Yeah.
Now I have a reason to go.
You have a pitch. Yeah, it's just
Hey, guys, you ever thought about investing in a vinyl art toy shop or knives on the end of guns?
just thinking about it.
Yeah. Who might bet?
Vinyl toys with knives on them.
I think that's that old SNL skit with Dan Aykroyd with the bag of glass.
True.
All right. Okay. So with Colonel Hood, okay. So you cut the check. Is there a swearing in ceremony? Do you get it like? Is it like a graduation?
No, not at all.
They
It's
send
pretty
you-
hands off.
They send you the paper in the mail.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think they vet you out. They make sure that you are not a troublemaker.
You're not a
which
scumbag.
They didn't vet very well, I guess. But like somehow I still squeaked in there. But yeah. Not much more to it than
It's pretty
that.
awesome, though. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Do you? So you can now officially wear the suit. Mm-hmm. What's that like?
And I have. It's great.
I can
There's
only-
nothing like it.
I mean, white on white on white. Like it's a power move.
Yeah.
Are you terribly nervous the whole time wearing it though that you'll get dirt on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just too much of a messy Jesse. Like I would just have shit on it all over, like markers, something. It would be-
Now, do you go old school and wear nice white dress shoes with it, or do you go new school and have like Jordans or like some or like some other kind of
They're
designer
like white
shoe?
chucks.
Yeah, just my Vans, but
White Vans.
Vans are the move. Okay,
yeah.
nice. Getting those waffle shoes out
Still
there.
gotta be comfy. You know?
Yeah, we got to be yourself as a
Comfy
colonel.
colonel. It's fine.
yeah.
I think that's part of being in something like this, where like you have to wear the uniform, but have some flair to let people
Yeah.
know that you're still an individual.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I came this close to wearing white jeans, but I don't know. At the last minute, I was like,
Yeah, the white pants.
I don't want
though,
to be too casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not.
You still want to have the look where they're like, that's definitely a colonel.
Yeah, you're
Right.
not. You're not Jack Black. or, no, or Jack White. Sorry,
Jack
I got my Jacks confused.
It's like,
Yeah. Although,
I mean, maybe he's a colonel. I don't
actually,
know.
I think you know what. Either or, I think Jack White or Jack Black might be a colonel. I feel like that's the thing where both of them might pop up at the Kentucky Derby at in the pancake breakfast.
Yeah,
Just hanging out.
Either way, I wouldn't be surprised. It'd
Yeah.
be, "Good, cool."
I always wonder with Jack White, like, what's it like being Jack White, where you're in like garage indie bands all your life, and now your song is like an arena anthem for sports. Like, that's got to be weird. I also get weirded out when I hear like Marilyn Manson, "Beautiful People," like when I'm watching football, and I'm like, this guy got beat up by jocks all his life, and now like for the rest of his life,
Until the residual
it's
checks.
third down, and it's like, what's that like for that dude?
Well, when the residual checks come in, they're like, okay.
He's fine with it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, I can buy a lot more absinthe, so
Yeah.
it's good. It's fine.
It's all good.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, all right. Well, I'm glad we got to, if anything on this episode, we got to explore Colonels, which Kentucky Colonels, which
True. You have a learning podcast, Tank. People learn.
And today we learned. But let's learn about this, man. So vinyl art toys, like this is the chat today. So let's start in the present, and then we're gonna back to the future and go to the beginning. Where's the collection sit at this time, man?
My personal collection, or
Open question, man. Like, okay, let's go personal. Like, what do you got sitting around?
well, you know, honestly, since opening the store, my collecting has really like taken a nosedive. Because I get
sure.
so much great stuff for the store,
Yeah.
and then I hold it for a while, and then sometimes it sits on the shelf for a while, and I get to enjoy it, and then I get to watch somebody else take it away, and I kind of go, it's kind of cool that I had it for a little bit, but
Yeah.
like,
You had a moment.
yeah.
It's like a hot girlfriend. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you're not the one, but we
we had fun.
But we had that time at that Taco Bell,
Yeah, it was great.
and it's cool.
Right.
I'm glad to see that someday you'll be a mom. But yeah, okay. So, and I guess let's not bury the lead. Like, so this is like this thing where it is now both. It started as a collection and then became a job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I gotta figure that really does impact your view of collecting and like really going a full a 180 on this. You're starting out as a collector, now being on the other side of the table as somebody who's selling and dealing in this world. So what was it like starting out with the collection?
So, I mean, I've been a collector my whole life toy collector.
Mm-hmm.
Like when everybody else was like, discovered girls and other things like that, I was like taking advantage of that and buying their toys off them really cheap.
Oh, smart.
And so,
Good move. Well played.
What era were you growing up in when you first started getting into toys? Were you an 80s kid? Were you a 70s kid?
yeah, so I was born in 75
Mm-hmm.
and, my third birthday, there's like an audio recording of it, but I got a Shogun Warriors Godzilla and I got some Micronauts and I got, like the plastic lightsaber and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's like the earliest that I know, at least from that point, I was sort of obsessed with toys because I was obsessed with that Shogun Godzilla. I took it with me everywhere.
Is this the one that shot the arm off?
Yeah.
Phew, how can you not? I
Yeah.
mean,
Most beautiful toy ever.
You got to flex that on people.
It's amazing, right? And so, yeah, I mean, and so, through Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I'm trying to get all that. In Indiana Jones, I was obsessed with those toys, and really it just kept going through, G.I. Joe and Transformers and all the other stuff. And then sort of when I stopped in taking that sort of media for a while, I still was kind of obsessed with the figures and like the sculpts and the, just the
craft of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think having Kenner here and knowing my parents were friends with someone at work, a sculptor at Kenner and stuff like that, and knowing that there was, these things didn't just come out of the ether, yeah, I just was always obsessed with weird toy, and then got into stuff that I was buying stuff I didn't know what it was, even just like appreciating the aesthetic value of it,
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that would be the thing is, because you're, as an artist, like, is there a point where kind of the artist's eye just starts to just enjoy the shape of it more than like, I don't really know what it is or care what it is. It's just, this is cool. Like,
Yeah,
lack
for
of a
sure.
better word. Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of looked at him as like kind of like sculpture in that regard,
Yes.
where it was
Yeah.
kind of like, the same way I've always enjoyed comic art or like lowbrow stuff in general. Like I enjoyed toys because it was just like a 3D representation of that stuff. And I've talked about this on the podcast before when Dave Powell came on, and we talked about like us growing up in the 80s. Like I think that there was the discovery of toys in the 70s where I was like, oh, we can like, because the whole thing in the 70s is like they figure out, hey, we can make trilogies and stuff, like we can make franchises, and then they start figuring out the toys that come with it, and like, oh, we can tie this into the movie and that'll make money. And then the 80s is just the complete like everything is based around this. For like you make cartoon series because it's a half-hour commercial for the toy line, and then you sell the toy line, and like G.I. Joe, where it's just like you're constantly introducing new characters, new vehicles, because you can sell it, or you can like retrofit stuff, or like the stuff with the He-Man series, where it's like, really, we can make anything as long as it's muscular, like it fits into our world, And Transformers, same thing. Like, let's make robots, let's make dinosaur robots, let's make robots where you can combine the robots together and they make a gigantic robot. It's it really did become that thing where like suddenly the market was just populated and super cool shit.
Yeah. I think it was in the 80s. There was actually a bill that was passed that before then you were not allowed to have cartoons that were necessarily like selling children something. And Reagan was like, we like money. Sign this bill, pass it. Good days. Bang, bang.
Look at Ronald Reagan doing all this great stuff that has helped this country for decades now.
No problem at all. So,
No problem.
But that one, hey,
that-
just hey, you're going to pass on that.
Honestly, with that one, I'm like, you know what, Ronnie? All right, thumbs up.
But because of that, that opened up that market to where it was like literally everything turned into a
toy commercial.
30-minute commercial. Yeah, it was like, of course,
Everything.
every kid was like, whatever you were into, like, just here's a billion of them,
It was so crazy to get the JCPenney Christmas catalog every year, where
Yeah.
like you would just like get like page after page, and it would just be everything that was in the series. So you would see like the Ghostbusters cartoon. They would have like the gigantic firehouse, and they'd have Ecto One,
Yeah.
and they'd have like the characters, and then they'd have the series of the ghosts that was in that, and then you flip the page, and then they had like Dino Riders, and it was
Yeah.
like you could get this play set, and you could do this thing, and and then like the weird stuff, like the one that was the dudes that had like the hologram chest thing, and they came like the hologram
Is it the-
Visionaries?
Visionaries, yeah.
Visionaries,
That was that was like 1 season, 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Just like constantly putting out
just
all these
spitting
series.
everything out. There were like was it spectors? They were like people that lived in a world of bugs, but they had these gloves that were like spiders. And like you put the
Septars.
Septars, thank you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the figure would be on it and write it. Oh, that was so ridiculous. I loved all that stuff.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, the 80s just seemed to be fueled by like cocaine and
Yeah.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Where it was like, all right, we really got to think this over, and then everybody just kind of like kind of got in with themselves, and as soon as they got in that world of like, hey man, I see things, then it was like, all right, now everybody started doing coke because now we got to sell this.
Yeah, well, I always think of that as like because I've watched a couple documentaries about the He-Man, and like He-Man is so beautiful. Like they're
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
They're like so like conceptually amazing. Like the figures are cool, the sculpts and everything. But one thing I always found so cool is like they really like captured that kids have just a limitless mass of imagination, and it doesn't make it the weirder it got, the more kids will just be like, yeah, it's fine, it's a
Yeah.
big guy, and this guy stinks, and this one's made of moss. I love it, bash them together and lose one, and the dog runs off with the other one's arm. It was wild to be like they were just so good at that, like to grasp that. Like kids do not ask questions like, well, why is Mossman da 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 da? They don't care. They just want something cool to play with.
I remember I had a Masters of the Universe toy, and I forget what this thing is called, but it is it's like red and orange muscular, because everything in the set looked like fucking Carl Weathers from Predator. Like everything was just jacked.
So many push-ups.
And,
all
yeah,
these toys.
everybody's doing push-ups, and then it had like a metallic elephant head,
Yeah.
and then you could and then like the nose. They could
was it
spit
Centaur?
water.
Yeah, it squirted.
Squirter.
It's like Squirtor.
Yeah.
but it's,
Squirtor, yeah.
it's something very close
Someone
to that.
is screaming at this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
God, how do you guys not know that stuff? This is- Yeah, but exactly, but in their heads are like, this totally fits in the He-Man world.
Yeah.
Masters of the
Right.
Universe, absolutely.
Kids will fill it full of water and squirt it everywhere. I love it.
or like the cool thing they had to collect your Masters Universe stuff, where it was like, I remember there was like for the bad guys, it was a like foot or 2 foot long like skeleton, and
Yeah.
then the rib cage you could snap people's waist into
Yeah.
it so it would hold them, so it was like a carrying case. How cool was that?
It's awesome.
Definitely cool.
Yeah, like
I mean, how cool would you look walking down the street with your?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not getting beat up. Not happening.
people are making way on the sidewalk as you walk by with your 20 Masters of the Universe villain that are part of like a weird alligator's rib cage. Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, if you were an adult doing that, you definitely aren't getting beat up because people are like, that
Yeah,
dude's
people.
nuts. Like, I gotta roll.
Give that guy space. He might.
Yeah, who knows what
There's a
happened
pretty good
there.
chance he has a gun. It's like, all right,
Yeah, solid investment.
keep it moving. So yeah. All right. So we're all in kind of that same world of like collecting. Did your collecting ever stop, or
No, it really
saying.
didn't.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
even through high school, like you're like, girls are cool, but toys are also still cool.
Yeah, 100%. Like the first apartment I ever had, is when they started coming out. They started releasing. Hasbro bought Kenner. They started doing the Power of the Force 2 line. That
yeah.
horrible looking line where
Not
Luke
the best
actually
toy.
looks more
No.
like He-Man, and
Yeah.
they're all jacked up, and some friends of mine and I, we would go to like we hit all these places in the middle of the night. We knew when they were putting these toys out, and we would buy them up. We'd buy them all up and everything. And I had them, and it's so embarrassing. But like one whole wall in my bedroom was just these things. I would nail them up, like it was all hanging in a store. And I had Millennium Falcon hanging from my ceiling. And I had my vintage Star Wars collection along another wall and stuff. And like, I'll never forget the very few times a girl would come over and just be like,
You're so cool. That's what it'd be like, this is so cool. This is the coolest room ever.
okay, I'm gonna switch it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. No, like, whose room is it? Like, I don't.
Hey, fellas, I'm talking to the fellas right now. You got to give the ladies a heads up. You can't let them come into that situation. Like, you got to let them know, like, look, I'm into this thing, and you're gonna come into this thing. You cool with that? And I think that's a good rule. Like, if you have a collection, let people know before they walk in, because there's a lot of collections that will scare the shit out of people. Like toy collection, knife collection. Knife collection scares ladies.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah. If you're like super horror collection guy, like if you're really into Leatherface and they walk into a room of Leatherfaces, it's like, check it out, Kane Hodder signed the mask. They don't think that's cool. They're terrified. All right, so you got to give them a heads up.
Solid advice.
Let them know what they're walking into.
I wish I had this podcast when I was like 18.
See, this is the beauty of the internet. Like, now I know, because trust me, in college, breast ladies him, and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah, Tom McFarlane just released his new. It's called Movie Meeting. It's great. Check it out. You know, it's just like, oh, god damn it. Yeah. That's kind of where I ended up landing with it. Like, through high school, I kind of laid off, but then in college, the McFarlane stuff came out, and I was right back in, because it was a whole new level at that point. Like, I was used to seeing action figures, but the sculpts on those were just so ahead of what other people were doing, and I was like, oh, this is great. I'm back on, and ever since then, I've been back in because I can't stop. Jaimie, what about you? Was there a stopping point for you, or were you?
That's a good question. I think I was a big comic nerd, so I followed that. And I mean, when I was a kid, I ate up toys as much as I could. But then I'm trying to always think, like, I went up working on Myers, like when I went to art school.
Nice.
And I worked third shift at first, which it's kind of like you said, there would always be these people waiting to kind of buy the toys. The only thing they didn't realize is my buddy and I would walk in the back to get the toys before they ever got to the dock.
That's the move.
And we had a total hustle move, because we would get them, set them off to the side, and layaway would open up right before we left for work. So we would just take it all, put it in layaway. And we were both broke art kids, school kids, but we would just slowly nurse until we could get these toys. But it was kind of the McFarlane era and things like that. And then I would definitely not say like I'm a hardcore toy collector. If you came to my house, there's toys, but it's not, I would say a collection. It's just more like things I'm into. But yeah, I've never if I find something cool, it's very hard for me to just walk away from it. I mean, since pretty much art school on, it's always been something where I wind up stumbling over something and I'm like, it has to come home with me. Yeah. To my wife's chagrin, she's like, oh, we got like critters running around the house. And of course, that's my problem now, because I want everything life size too. That's the worst part now. It's like, oh, they have puppet masters life size. You want 6 psychotic puppet masters in the house, hon? She's like, no.
They have a 6 foot tall animatronic Leatherface at Home Depot right now for like $200, and I'm like, man, I mean, they would fit in the studio. No, I'm for real. It's there. You can go get it. You hit the button. It does the dance.
It does the dance and everything.
Yeah, it's a party. Yeah, so the wheels are turning.
Yeah,
I see it. I see it over there.
I mean, the shop definitely needs that. I'm just
all right. I gotta go.
That's the Halloween decoration your shop needs right now.
All right. So when did you make the jump into art toys, like vinyl toys? Like lifelong toy collector, do you remember the first time you came across something where you were like, was it Kid Robot? Was it something Kozik? Like what did you see where you're like, oh shit, this is cool?
It was such a gradual thing. And I think that, along the way, like discovering bootleg toys or like knockoff toys, sure, like weird variants of things that because I think a lot of the vinyl toy stuff sort of also kind of stems from that kind of thing, because it's things that but it's not the same as you're used to.
It's like a variant of some level, or like changing it, fan art sort of thing.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of that came from, I sort of fell into it from the backside of it, I guess you would say. Of discovering things online that and not understanding at first that there was a whole scene and a whole thing built around these things.
Culture of it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like stumbling onto different varied toys that I was like, who made this?
Why is this here?
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
That sort of led me to it took me a minute to put like this together with this other thing that I had and go, oh wait, these are two parts of like this bigger thing that's happening. And so so some of that stuff is really fuzzy of how I really discovered some of that stuff, because it just sort of happened so naturally, and I was collecting so much stuff, and then just trying to piece it all together.
It kind of reminded me in a way of like discovering punk rock stuff, where it was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then you would find something else and you're like, oh shit. And then you'd look in the notes, you're like, oh, this band thanked that band. Or like you would like be able to relate, or like, oh, this toy was made by the same person who made this toy, and start to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And probably, really when the kind of art toy started to being exposed, I mean, like the internet was still fresh. Like it was, we weren't where we are right now. So it was kind of like you still had a link and I mean, nowadays, if someone was like, I don't know what art, like someone listens to this podcast and goes, I don't know what an art toy is. 2 minutes later on a Google search, and you're going to know what an art toy is and a whole lot of information, as compared to when we were learning about it. It really was like a weird mystery to put together,
I think also like a lot of the major cities picked up on it at first, so there was like a more of a population density.
Yeah.
So the idea to like sell 500 pieces of something when you live in a city of millions is not as hard to do. But then that also grew the exclusivity and also the need and want for this thing, and hence brings in supply and demand, which is a major thing in all collections, where what is available, what can I get, and what can I get for what price. And it really started to kick that thing off, where we'd grown up in like mass produced toys. We'd all grown up, we're like, hey, if you want, you can go to the Toys R Us and you can get like all the Ninja Turtles, or you can get like, if they have that line out, you can get the new line of LGN wrestling figures. Sure, no problem. But to buy these things, you got to go to this boutique shop at this place at this time, and there's only so many of them, and they're hand signed and blah blah. And it really did add a whole new level to this thing.
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, to my knowledge, it seemed like a lot of the original art toys, and please, if I'm wrong with this, correct me on it, but they were kind of on both coasts, were kind of like where that first explosion was. And I always kind of just assumed that, like you were saying, a lot of this was artists that were like lowbrow, street artists, graffiti artists, people of that aesthetic already intaking those like bootleg toys and kind of coming off with their own idea with it. And I was always thinking too, is like, well, these are also places where there's a lot of cultures that might have bootleg toys from, Spanish people or people from, I mean, Japan has a whole different aesthetic to toys. And if you're on the West Coast, Japan is not as far away as it would be in Cincinnati. And people traveling, again, especially if you're a graffiti writer that's well known, you're traveling there. Like, people in Japan want you to come and do murals and that, and then you're seeing these badass toys and going, hold on, I'm going to do something very new now, And I always thought like that sharing of information, again, back then is very different. And maybe that also kind of helps set off that market. And again, like if you're on the coast and you're used to graffiti, like high level graffiti, and you are familiar with those toys and things like that, as a collector, you're far more willing to go, there's only 5 of these. It's $300. I'll spend $300 on it. As compared to here, it'd be like, I don't know what the fuck that is, and it's I'm not spending $20 on it.
Yeah, no,
I can buy a GI Joe for $5, type of thing.
I think you're absolutely right when you say the sharing of information at that time, because it was still a time, where just the internet was budding, but it wasn't what it is today. No. Like there wasn't something like Big Bad Toy Store where you just go and you can pick stuff up, or it wasn't something where like, the pre-established gallery sites where you can go and they're going to have releases. Like it was very much of this thing of like, people were still trying to find each other online and find groups.
Yeah.
I always see that as like a big turn point in society. I don't know, but I guess you could put it to the world, but just from being in America and living in America, that's when I saw a big turn. Like when I was in my teens, I couldn't find anyone in my small town was into the same shit I was, like maybe like 2 or 3 guys. Whereas once I found the internet and I could find like, threads, and I could find like chat boards and shit. Yeah. Oh fuck, this world starts to open up. And I definitely think that was also the thing at the time where like if you were living on coast and you were traveling to other countries and experiencing things, that's not what people in middle America were experiencing at the time. Yeah. Outside of a major place like Chicago, which again with O'Hara, another major travel destination and hub, But living in like somewhere in Ohio, you just weren't getting exposed to a lot of this stuff just because it wasn't on the shelves. You didn't have access to the information of it.
Well, even like Chicago, there's a large Asian and Japanese population. They have a Kinakushin store there. So again, like they sell like legit like books in Japanese and magazines in Japanese for a Japanese audience. So it makes sense that like Chicago would understand that art a little quicker. And I think like, we all agree too. Like one thing that it's funny now because it's like I look through it and I roll my eyes every time I see a new issue. But like Juxtaposed magazine, at its time was such like for myself.
It was my Bible for a while.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree, Tank. It was just for there's certain years when it was Robert Williams was running. It was main editor.
When Robert Williams was the editor from like mid 90s through like 2005, like that run of Juxtaposed just influenced everything in my life and what I do artistically.
It really was like because it was looking at it like everybody in it was a killer, and it was like they would have they'd have like a legit artist in there that's a Japanese artist that does a toy, and it would be like a whole beautifully shot article about a toy maker, and you're like, how is this happening right now?
That's such a good point because I'd even forgotten how big of a part of that Juxtaposed was to those things becoming aware of those kind of things.
Yeah, it really was just like such a cool way to like every month or two to like get this insight into the world of like shit that was always gonna fucking rock. And that was the thing with Juxtaposed at that time. Everything in that motherfucker rocked. Like you were just constantly getting introduced to super cool artists that were doing super cool stuff. And they would introduce you to, they would have issues. It's like, oh, this is the tattoo issue, or oh, this is the toy issue. And it was before we had stuff like Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, where you could have anybody blow up virally. It's like, no, you have to have somebody like put a spotlight on this person, let them shine. And at that time, it was people that were clawing, they were doing conventions and doing whatever they could to get themselves in front of new eyes to expand what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like they had like a special issue that was Pusshead was the editor for it, special editor. And it was like, they had Rockin' Jelly Bean from Japan, like articles with him. And there was just like crazy, like everybody in these issues were just, it's like you said, it was just like every page you turn, you're humbled, but you're also so inspired by looking at them. That was good times, man. That was a great magazine in its time. Nowadays I've looked through, I'm like, oh, this is a little bit more upscale than it's lost a touch. But, at its time, it was a killer.
Dustin, don't say anything right now because this could negatively impact you in the future.
That's Jaimie Filer's opinion. I'm fine being negatively impacted. It's fine.
You hear that Juxtaposed?
Come at me. It's fine. Yeah, you don't ever have to publish. You're not ever going to publish my work. I get it.
You don't want the smoke Juxtaposed. Hell yeah, dude. All right. This is sick. I feel like Adam 22 right now. Where I got rappers on my podcast and people are starting beefs. This is great. Awesome. Hell yeah. All right. Listener, I'm officially no jumper. I since we're kind of we're talking about this whole Juxtaposed thing and everything. Kozak was the first thing I saw where it really got me to like figure out the art toy thing, because I had followed, because when I was growing up I was following like him and Coop and Derek Hess and all the other poster artists at the time, and then I saw Kozak jump in like with the Smoking Rabbit and started producing the toys, and I'm like, whoa, what's this? And then that was my entryway into this. The same way that like Green Day and Offspring were my entryway into punk, Kozak was my entryway into vinyl art toys.
See that?
Yeah. And I just think that was like, for a lot of people, that and Juxtaposed was a way to like open up this market of like, oh, this is this whole new thing. What do you guys think about like the impact of hip hop on vinyl art toys? Because I feel like that's a thing that popped up a lot with like KAWS, Cause, am I saying it right? His stuff, like, I feel like a lot of graffiti, a lot of hip hop stuff came in with like the first waves of vinyl art toys.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that, and actually, I mean, I think you're exactly right. And I'm not a total vinyl toy historian, but I think that a lot of that stuff, the early stuff, was popping up in like New York City around the hip hop scene and around the street art scene. I mean, all of that stuff was so intertwined there. And I think, I can't think of the stores now, the first stores that started having toys made of like,
Was
they're
it Kid
sort of
Robot?
It wasn't Kid Robot. These were like clothing. I want to say they were like clothing stores, but sort of, like streetwear type
Streetwear,
stuff.
streetwear
Sure.
boutique stuff at the time.
And and they have their mascots and they have the other things, and then they figured out how to get vinyl toys made in Japan of like characters, and then they would collaborate with artists, and that's sort of, I won't say that that's the very start of it all, but like that was very early in that. I know was a huge influence on that stuff.
Which is a really smart thing to do by like streetwear companies, to be like, hey, what's another thing we can get people to collect on? Yeah. And that's a whole other avenue to open up. And also it brings in a whole other sect of people that are like, oh, I like that, and are instantly on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said too. These are sculptures at that point, and like, they look good in a house. They look good in your apartment. They look cool. Again, if you are a toy collector and you do kind of feel conscious about having a wall Star Wars toys when you bring a lady home from the bar or something like that, but all of a sudden it's like, I got this cool, weird, whatever toy, it's like some abstract bear and it's got a weird, MF Doom helmet on or something. It changes it, it's like, well, no, this is a sculpture, this is an art piece. So I can see where that would work in those circles.
Sculptures and toys are also an interesting thing to display because, like, when you're dealing with like paintings, drawings, prints, it's 2D, it's very simple. Yeah. It goes on a wall. You're dealing with a 3D sculpture or a toy, it's like, what does it go on? Like, does it sit on a table? Does it go on a shelf? Does it have its own thing? Is it on a pedestal? Like, where does this thing, does it go on the floor? Like, and then do I show all sides of it? Do I show just the front of it? Like, how do I display this thing? Do I put it on a lazy Susan so people can spin it? What's happening here?
Yes, I think that actually is the answer. Just lazy Susans all through their house. Make them work a little bit too. Everybody has to do a little workout to always see 5 pieces.
But I always think that is an interesting part of sculpture in any kind of 3D art is you have to think, hey, what angle is somebody viewing this from?
True.
Yeah.
So where did you first start collecting stuff from? Like, did you have a website? Did you have a store that you were going to? Like, how did you first start obtaining like your vinyl art toys?
That's a good question. I mean, kind of from all over at first, because when I did, when I was not really sure what certain things were, I mean, the internet, for all of its, for good and bad, there are a lot of things I've discovered that that you would never find just in your daily life.
100%.
So, and I think honestly, as weird as it sounds, probably eBay was a big part of that.
Oh, I bet.
No, that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm looking up things like,
Yeah.
What about this? Like, what about this? Whatever. Looking for things, when you have an interest in something, and then you find something that's like sort of adjacent to that, and then you're like, okay, I'll take that because that's.
Well, in you throw eBay out there, and I think we need to pause real quick and kind of try to explain to the listener that was born like after the 2000s, like how big eBay was at one point. Mm-hmm. Like
yeah, true.
eBay was. I'm not going to say it was Amazon, but it was...
It was also kind of Wild West.
You could just kind of...
I don't know what's going
buy
on
whatever
here.
the fuck you want on Amazon, or on eBay, and you don't really know who you're dealing with a lot of time. Like, is this legit or is this not?
There was a time like where I had to send a check for something.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the early days of eBay, you actually had to like send money orders and checks and...
Yeah, it was weird. And you're like, well, I guess they'll send me whatever I just bought. I don't know,
Yeah.
6 months later, after I forgot about it, it shows up at my door, but broken, but it's fine.
Well, like if you want to step back in time, like if you watch like the 40-Year-Old Virgin where like Steve Carell, his character fucks a chick who like that, well, how he loses, spoiler alert, how he loses his virginity is he has sex with a lady who runs an eBay store. Like, where like that was the thing at a time where like you would go to an eBay store to, hey, can you put my thing on eBay? And somebody would like take a picture of your item and then they would post it for you and they would deal with all the haggling and all that shit. And then they'd sell it and then they would take a percentage and they'd cut you a check.
Yeah. That was the thing.
Yeah. It was definitely a thing.
I remember those stores.
Before the bots ruined eBay.
Before the bots,
Yeah. Before AI.
tank grimace.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I just got to deal with AI and all my day to day work, and so I'm just like, you ever see the train coming? You ever see that?
It's like no one saw Terminator.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Where people are like, Terminators, that's a fun thing. It's like, no, the military right now with their Gen X fighters are figuring out ways to make interlinking networks so that they can have drones that are powered by AI that are then advanced gunships on the side of jets. It's fine. It's cool. It's totally cool. Never going to use them against us. Totally cool. Yeah, we're everything. Go back to sleep. All right. This is conspiracy theories. But all right. So, oh fuck.
So you worry about me getting canceled by Juxtapoz.
Yeah, no.
Here you are.
I'm gonna get assassinated if I get
All
big.
right.
If I get big, and I'm gonna get JFK. Fuck.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Now give me somebody.
We're all going to get someone mad in this podcast. So.
All right, Dustin. Do you consider yourself a quantity or quality collector?
It's flip-flopped because it used to be quantity. Like I said, back in the early 90s when nobody cared about Star Wars and Micronauts and G.I. Joe and all this stuff. I literally was just going to like garage sales, yard sales, flea markets.
It was there.
Because everybody's selling this stuff for
Everybody
50
had it.
cents.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
here's another Bespin security guard. I figure I don't even care about, but like, of course, I'll buy 80 of them because they're like a quarter. And so, yeah, it used to be a much bigger collection. And like I said, really, it's been the store that sort of had me reevaluate some things that I've had for a long time that I'm just like, why do I still have this?
Sure.
Like, whatever. So I feel like my collection is much more of a specific thing. And it takes a lot for me to pick something up new.
Do you do the Marie Kondo thing where it's, does this bring me joy?
Yeah, honestly, and I know.
It's such solid advice. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm super glad that she got that show just to like ask that question because it really has impacted my collecting where I'm just like, does this bring me joy? And then I can let go of it.
Yeah, and it's easy for me because I have an outlet for that.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, this is going to the store now.
Sure.
I guess,
This
whatever.
It'll be a part of the aesthetic until it's not there anymore. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great. It's actually great.
100%. Yeah, I think most people turn into quality collectors. I have not had a quantity collector on the show yet, and I really want to have a quantity collector. Like I really want to meet somebody who specifically collects Kiss or they collect Simpsons. Somebody who just because I want to meet somebody whose their whole thing is like, I love this brand and I buy this brand and my house is covered in this brand. And and usually it is what you are, a quality collector. I'm a quality collector. Jaimie's a quality collector. Like collecting, you get into something and then it turns into a sensibility where you're like, this is what I like. This is the cool thing.
Yeah.
And it definitely becomes subjective collecting where it's just like, in my head, this is cool. This is what I want. But again, with like those big properties or things like Pez, there are quantity collectors where it's like, I must get the set of this. My dad and my uncle were quantity collectors for years where like they would buy each other the Budweiser Christmas Stein every year and they have like 40 Budweiser Christmas Stein dating back like 1976.
Right.
Like something crazy. So it's like there is both sides of the collecting coin there and it's always a question I like to ask. What about a governor? Do you have a governor? So a governor is a term we discovered on the show where it's like there's somebody that's an outside influence that tells you where and how the collection can be displayed or how much you can have, or you got to get rid of stuff. Do you have anybody that's doing that? Or do you have a free reign collection where you can just like put anything in the collection up anywhere in the house where you're at?
Yeah, I would say, my wife is a collector, but she collects like, mid-century furniture and Hollywood Regency mirrors with gold, like all kinds of odd things.
Sure.
And it is sort of, I sort of acquiesce to her and I let her do whatever she wants. And I feel like she lets me do whatever I want, but I do feel like this sort of need to like keep my stuff my stuff it's all over the place, but it's concentrated in certain areas, if that makes sense. So yeah, I feel like, I could fill the whole house with stuff. But I feel like, I kind of rein myself in, I guess.
I feel you, Jaimie. Is Allison governing you, or because you guys kind of have a mix where you both have stuff that you're overlapping on? So how does that work?
Yeah, it's I definitely try to stay conscious of like not just engulfing the whole house.
Just
I'm
not
very lucky.
overtaking
I have a
everything.
library / studio, and it's like when you walk in that room, there is not an inch of wall on a 4 wall space. I mean, Tank's seen it. It's like because I collect art, original art, and there's like paintings and this, that, and everything in my books and everything else.
It fucking rocks.
It is like, yeah, not to brag, but yeah, it's my heaven. But the rest of the house, I try to be very aware. And I mean, like, I'm lucky enough that like Allison, again, like we'll have, I collect like the Mondo movie posters and that. And she'll be like, I have no interest in this, whatever this movie is, blah, 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 but it's a beautiful poster, put it in the hallway, type of thing. Like she appreciates art. She's a designer, so she appreciates art herself. So, but yeah, I'm kind of the same as you. I'm like, well, you put your stuff first, and then I'll figure out where mine can go from that.
It's interesting that you say that because it's a similar thing with Polly where she's very big on like arranging, decorating. Yeah, she does all of that at the store. Everything that you see at the store is because Polly laid it all out.
Nice.
And your store is beautiful.
yeah,
So
it's
beautiful job.
Yeah, she does a fantastic job.
Shout out Polly.
In the house is sort of like that too, and it's kind of funny because she'll grab a toy or something off one of my shelves and go, no, this looks good over here with this other stuff, So she's really good about that, and she doesn't know, what was
Yeah,
this?
it's just like, I don't know what this is, but
Megalon, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty good at letting each other sort of.
Yeah, the only thing we ever butt heads on is I have a life-size critter, and she hates that thing. Like, Allison would just throw that in the street if she knew I would be okay with it. She hates that thing with a passion. So, and it sits right on top of my Blu-rays, and it like stares at my cats constantly. So it's just...
I'm with you guys on a lot of what you're saying. I have free reign in my studio office upstairs. I can do whatever I want within those walls. And then everything outside of those walls is a conversation. Yeah. So it's like, hey, is this cool?
Good way to put
and
it,
it's like, all right, cool. So like downstairs right now, like looking over, like I have a toy, Jaimie, that you made on the shelf over there. It's this sick mixtape that has a skull that's like pink. It's like melting, oozing, like this pink creature.
Thank you.
And Lauren's like, absolutely, yeah, this stays here. And then I have like a Ron English super fat black and white Captain Crunch, and she's like, yeah, this is totally cool, like this can stay here. And then we have like various stuff from our wedding that people gave us that were gifts, that were toys, and they are also on display in the basement. So yeah, it's that. I think at the end of the day, I do think it is good to have a governor, especially if you have an addictive personality.
Yes.
And that's something that you also have to be aware of. Your collector is how addictive are you? I'm pretty lucky. There's things, I have vices, but I'm not addicted to them. And that's something I've always been very happy about. It's like I don't have like a werewolf disease or like vampirism where it's like, oh fuck, I got this thing and now I can't get rid of it. Like I can kind of control what this is. But it does help to also have somebody that's like, hey man, maybe don't cover the entire house in fucking toys and horror movie posters and shit like that.
Makes sense.
It does help 100%. So how do you display your collection, man? Like, are you somebody that leaves stuff in a box, or are you somebody or does everything have to come out of the box? Like, how do you show off what you got?
Everything comes out of the box.
Hell yeah!
Like
I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free.
And now it is my turn to take on like a section of our culture. Like I don't buy graded or like graded comics. I don't buy like anything that's all sealed up and like you buy it with the express purpose of keeping it sealed up. I can't wrap my brain around it. And I understand when I'm opening something, I'm devaluing it. But it's like buying a new car.
Exactly.
And you roll it off the lot. Yeah. It's going to be worth a little bit less. And then of course I own a store. I'm like, whoa, am I ever going to sell it? Well, maybe I will. But like, it doesn't. That is not why I buy things or collect things. Like I don't have any carded figures. I don't have it. Art toys is a different thing because they're meant to be that way. When they are, whatever. But yeah, everything comes out of the box. Everything gets displayed. I mean, it not only does it come out of the box, but then, it's probably going to get other stuff put with it that, everything is interactive.
Yeah.
For it,
Yeah. I mean, again, it's if they're for the sculptural quality of them, it's not the same when it's in a square or rectangle box.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it eliminates that whole, like Tank was saying, like, how do I display this because I want to see all sides or this or that. That's just done. I'm just looking at the front of it, just blankly staring in there, and I totally agree with you.
Yeah. That kind of stuff.
And whether it's even an art toy, I still like, and I totally get some people put in the thought of the design of the packaging in that, but for the most part, it's still like it was made to be enjoyed, not hoarded.
Yeah,
like,
I mean the ones that are expressly made. They stick the blister on with the figure, and the figure is not articulated or anything, and it's like a singular presentation.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's made to be enjoyed as that piece with that.
Yeah, but like other than that, anything goes.
I'm with you guys. The only thing I keep in packages is my Super 7s where I'm like, all right, this was like the packaging and the toy, and it's kind of hard to stay up. Like this, I'm going to keep this here. And I tack them up my wall, and I got my wall of Super 7. But other than that, man, it's coming out of the box.
And a lot of the Super 7 actually have really nice artwork on the...
They
really nice artwork on them.
Yeah,
so.
they totally hit the 80s, 90s niche of what they're doing, how they display stuff. It's so great. But yeah, man, if I buy a toy, it's coming out of the box. And also, if I go to a toy store, I'm going to buy something that's in a bag. Like, I don't need the thing like all new. I mean, our toys excluded. Like if it's our toy, totally yes, I will buy it new in any condition it's in. Like obviously, but like if I go someplace and like somebody is like selling NECAs, I'm not gonna like go buy a new Michael Myers NECA when I can just get it in a bag for like $15 cheaper.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah, because I'm immediately gonna take that thing out of the box, pop it open, and go. Yeah. All right, good. All right, making sure that we're all on the same page here. That feels way better. I don't know, man. I just can't fuck with the idea of like hoarding boxes. Like, I talked to a friend of mine that has a toy shop, and they were talking about how they went to somebody's house to pick up some like Star Wars black toys, and the guy was like, oh, I don't know if I want to let these go or not, and my friend was like, I'll bet you like $100 right now. Like, name what that toy is right there. Like, can you name what that toy is? That one right there in the box. And the guy's like, no. And he's like, all right, what are we doing? Like, what are you? What? Like, why are you holding this? Like, I mean, if you want to, you can, but you're not even displaying it. You're just like tucking it in a box and putting it underneath in a shelf.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's a lot of FOMO too. They're just fear of missing out of that one piece to a collection.
Yeah, I guess.
Again, that's the thing though. To be fair to the people that are like that, this is 3 people that are artists and creatives. So our appreciation for it might, as much as we're collectors, we're not necessarily collector. I don't think in that same sense, like I have to have every single one of them just to say that I have every single one of them type of thing.
Yeah. And again, if that's the way you collect, more power to you, but it's not me. And I can't wrap my head around it. Yeah. Like I don't see it, but the people that do it, I mean, cool. If that's what it's into. Hey, listener, at the same time, I'm the kind of guy that doesn't want to get smacked with whips or get a cigarette put out on my neck. Like
lame.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm kind of. It's just not my flavor, But for a lot of people, it is, and that's cool too, man. Do your thing. But I just don't fucking get it.
Tank just pissed off a whole other group of people.
Just
pissing off people.
Multiple getting canceled.
Everybody's getting pissed off.
Everybody's getting hit with the shit stick on this one.
I was gonna say, just to add on to that, part of my collecting thing, I would say too, is I don't put anything in a box. Like I wouldn't buy something. Like I think about that when I'm buying something. Is this gonna be? Is there a place for this to be displayed in my house? Because collecting to throw something in a box or to file it away is like, that seems like a
God damn, dude, fireworks are going off right now.
Yeah.
Eagles are flying over mountains. Just, I'm so on board. Let's go. Let's go.
Again, it's meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point of
it.
it.
You know?
Yeah, you display it. Like, it's a thing. It lives, it breathes, it exists.
It's cool.
It's in the collection. You see it. It's cool. Somebody comes over your house and you're like, oh shit, is that? And you're like, it is. And they're, oh, cool, man. Awesome. Like, that's sick. And it's like, I know. It is pretty cool. And then you nerd out for a minute because there's not other people. The other thing too is it's a small number of people that see this thing and recognize what it is and think it's cool too. And then that's also another thing. It's like you instantly know that person is cool. It's one of those things where like, hey, you fucking get it. And there's not a lot of people that fucking get it. So that's also nice. Jim, you know what I'm talking about. Like meeting other weirdos. Like,
Oh yeah.
because that dude, how many parties have you went to where you get introduced to people and instantly you're just like, oh fuck, I hate this.
A lot.
Yeah.
No. Everybody's great in their own special way, Tank. Come on. No, but yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing too is I feel like, again, maybe those people that aren't necessarily into that world, when things are out and displayed cool, and they walk up and they're like, I don't know, there's a giant green weird bear cat thing here. This is great. I don't know what it is, but it's just, like, because they don't walk into most people's houses and see that. So there is a certain energy that you get to kind of get to show off, like, yeah, I'm the weirdo, and look at all the cool weird stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's always that it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, when you're young and kind of having the toys and thing, it is that like awkwardness of like, oh, I'm the weirdo. But then you get a little older and a little more confidence to it, and you're like, hell yeah, like your house is boring, my house is awesome. Glad those plain walls work for you. They don't work for me. Look at how cool this stuff is. And it's surprising though, the older I get, when a few people do come in that aren't familiar with me and, or, like friends of Allison or something, like they walk into the studio and again, they don't know what 95% of this shit is, but they're like, this is really cool. Like there's some strange, green monster thing over here. And, guy with shark can statue. And I'm like, yeah, those are all mine. It's like it's cool stuff.
It's definitely way cooler than like live, laugh, love and like a moving barn door.
Yeah.
It's
like naked lady or Playboy centerfolds with monsters on them gets way more conversation than live, love, laugh. Yeah, that's true.
Definitely a conversation starter. 100% on that one.
There's room for both.
Hell yeah.
No.
Maybe one right above the other. Well, the centerfold and the live, love, laugh actually, could work together.
It's kind of a combo.
That.
It's a, live, laugh, love, monsters, tits. It's kind of all the same. Listener, I don't know where we're going with that one. All right. So, do you have a self-imposed limit on what you will or won't spend on a toy? Like, is there how do you decide? Hey, I'll spend X on this. Like, is it the size of the toy? Is it the exclusivity of the toy? Like, how do you
say this is a real hard question for you in the world you live in.
Yeah, you live. Yeah,
like
that's
you're at the
exactly what I'm
conventions
asking,
with like everybody and just looking at this would be a hard one.
Yeah, maybe that's where I have a governor. Because, it's real. It's such a case by case basis, but I do usually have to plead my case for
Sure.
something like.
Sure. Do you usually be like, well, okay, so I'm going to keep this for 6 months, then we're putting it in the shop. So,
Yeah.
so like, just 6 months, and we're going to get it,
Yeah, and actually sometimes it'll go the other way too. I'll be like, look, I'm going to buy this for the store, and maybe it's there 2 months, then maybe it comes home with me.
Sure.
Okay, let's not put an exact number on it. Would you pay over $500 for a figure? Would you pay over $500 for a toy?
Yeah.
Would you pay over $1,000 for a toy?
No.
Okay, not over $1,000. Okay, so we got a limit there somewhere.
Maybe. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, maybe.
Okay, is size a factor if you would pay $1,000 for it?
Yeah, probably.
Is exclusivity a factor?
Yeah, that would definitely. I definitely wouldn't pay that much for something if it.
I feel those are the big two on what you would pay on something. Like,
when I'm thinking about $1,000, would I pay that? It would have to be like a Shogun Warrior that like one of the like super rare ones that were only in Japan or something like that. Even that I still don't know, but it would definitely be I would definitely
you
have to think
debate
it through.
Yeah, you would debate it in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because and those things are also, yeah. I mean, would I pay that much for some? Well, okay, yeah. I'm kind of backpedaling all over the place because you guys know Steve Casino's work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I was like, if it's the size of a Tic Tac, I wouldn't pay that much. But then again, like,
These are
he
incredible. Yeah.
paints amazing Tic Tacs. So, I think it would be it would have to be I try not to spend over $500 on anything.
Solid game plan. I'm with you on that. I'm definitely in the hundreds on my range. Like, in the past, I was definitely under that, like, because I had less money. So, like, $100 is my top out. Now I'm like, 200 to 3 is like about my ceiling. It would really have to be something really cool for me to drop that kind of coin.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go to some place, like I know I've been to like Ratafugi in Chicago, and then like a Guru Gallery in Austin. I'm just like, man, there's a lot of cool shit here I want to spend some money on, and it is that push pull thing, and to me those are the two big things: is what's the size of it and what's the exclusivity? Because I'm a xenomorph collector, and I've definitely spent a lot of big money on like xenos, but at the same time, if they're 2 feet tall, I'm willing to spend that money.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jaimie, what about you, man? Like, do you have a ceiling?
I mean, I try to keep it. I'm definitely more like it has to be something that really speaks to me, but then it can start adding value.
And that's also the problem.
I have like
when you fall in love with something.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Where you see something, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest like. I mean, I appreciate things in my childhood, but I'm not like very nostalgic for like things. But one thing is we didn't have a lot of money in my family, so like a lot of my toys were like yard sale toys that are kind of busted or whatever. But like still, it was great because I could just bash the shit out of them. No one cared, type stuff. But I had that Godzilla you were speaking of earlier without the arm, and I had the original Mazinger of the Shogun Warriors without an arm, and I would wrestle these things to death, and I would fight them like as a child. Like I would lose my shit on. And to this day, like those are the two things that like if I came across a really good one, I would probably put a lot more. I'm not going to mention a price on it, but I'm like, those are things that I might be like, well, it's okay. We'll just skip lunch for a few days.
Have either of you guys ever bought a USS Flag?
No.
But
see, like I appreciate that. Like that's
I
cool.
appreciate it too.
But I would never want it.
No.
Yeah. That's how I am with a lot of, again, like the nostalgic toys. It's like I think they're so cool when at a convention and I see like Boba Fett figures or something like that. But like at the same time, I don't need it in my house. Like I don't. It doesn't hit that feeling for me.
Can you guys help me explain what the USS Flag is to the listener?
It's like, is it 6 foot?
It's a 6 foot aircraft carrier.
Carrier for G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
And it came with a jet too, right?
It came with a jet. It has like a whole like thing where you can. Like it's 2 sections. There's the top of the deck of the aircraft carrier, and you can go underneath it where like you're in where they store the jets at and stuff. It is quite. I think it's the most massive playset of all time. Maybe not, but I mean it's 6 feet long.
Pretty sure
It's huge. I don't understand how people took these things home in the 80s. Like
that was the thing. I'm like I never knew anyone that had those. Like I mean, I'm like what there can only be like I mean especially then because that would have been a time where adults were not going to be like I want a 6 foot long battleship. So I'm like what kid are you like this kid's going to wreck this thing in 5 minutes, like let's spend this money for this.
I never met anybody that had one. I think the biggest piece I had a G.I. Joe Cobra Terror drone when I was a kid.
and that
was sick.
And that was the biggest thing I had. But I never met anybody that had the Flag because that thing was just monstrous. It was just so gigantic. It was insane how big that thing was.
The biggest thing I had was the hovercraft, and I thought that was big. And that thing's like maybe 2 feet.
Yeah, it's like the size of a huge turtle.
You could you could fit 4 of them on the USS Flag.
I'm just like, what kid had that? Like what?
Yeah.
There was like Richie Rich was out there, and that was the only kid that would have had that toy.
Well, and now the weird collector's market for that, where there are dudes that are trying to hunt that down to this day, and there's people that deal in them, and it's a whole weird subculture.
I was going to say that is like Again, like if you have that, you have to have it displayed. You have to have special
Yeah.
lights. I feel like that
No,
would be
yeah.
I have to build like a diorama of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Although I
you
can put a
have
cool jaws coming out of the diorama. I mean, there's a lot of
yeah.
things. That
All
could be-
encased in glass, and it becomes your coffee table.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's buried with me. Like you know,
Yes. I put the flag on top of my coffin, so when they lower me into the ground, all you see is the flag as I'm going into the,
I
into
was
the
gonna
ground.
say, dude, no offense, but you and I are short as shit, so they're gonna have to dig actually out the grave longer.
To me, for the flag.
Yeah, it's
Solid.
taller than us, man.
Fair enough.
why
That
is
is
this
true.
coffin so big?
Very roomy. Got to fit a flag on top of this thing. All right.
Or they could put my ashes in it.
That's what I was
And then
gonna
just
say.
send it
Yeah,
out to
That's
the
what's up.
ocean.
Oh, dude, send the flag into
yeah.
the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Sweet Viking funeral. Shoot arrows at it.
yeah.
That'd be great.
Set it on fire.
Dude, this is the most patriotic episode we've ever done. Like, it's amazing how American this show. I'm pumped up right now. I'm fired up by all this shit.
I was gonna say you'd have to do the flaming arrow thing because
100%.
you know there would be a guy that
yeah.
would go
Yeah.
chase
Steal
it,
it.
Don't go
throw
after
your
it.
ashes
Yeah.
out of it, and then like
Fuck this guy. This is mine.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, it's at toy department.
Or else he just leaves them in and you're getting resold at a fucking at a toy con in Tampa Bay.
They're
You're like,
like-
God damn it.
They're like ashes of Jaimie Filer, an extra $3. I'm like, sweet, guys, figured it out.
What about creating your own toys and kit bashing? Like, is that something you got into, Jaimie? I know you recently got into it. Like, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was something definitely like learning about like the art toy scene through the stuff that I was doing. It's weird because growing up, you know, I was always an artist and I was always into toys. And I say that a lot, that it took so long, you know, it was like 40 years for those things to actually like finally intersect in like a meaningful way. Because when I was a kid, you know, you would like my Jedi Luke Skywalker had his hand, you know, I cut the hand off of him, and I would modify toys to make them look more like stuff in a movie, or I would take like my Flash Gordon toys and like scrape them all up and turn them into, you know, some background character in the cantina or whatever.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Nice.
Just dumb stuff like that you know, you don't think about too much as a kid. You know, you're
Sure.
just like doing your thing.
Dude, that's next level imagination, though. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think we all have that related thing with toys as kids. We're like, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to beat you. You know, you like talk it out. But, like, the idea to actually figure out a way to incorporate your characters into where they make sense in other scenes and other movies, that's next level, man. That's pretty genius shit.
Well, it was just like having fun, you know what I mean? And just like, I don't know. I was a weird kid anyway, but yeah, so like then like seeing people actually make this stuff and creating their own things, because I actually fell into like the art toy thing specifically. There was a carrying case, like a bootleg action figure carrying case when I was a kid, that said Star World on it, and it had this female Darth Vader and this sort of Chewbacca guy that was more like a orangutan looking guy, and like a C-3PO and R2-D2, but like it was all wrong, you know. And my mom got it for me, probably a yard sale or something. And I remember just staring at that case as a kid, and I was just like, where are these toys? Like,
Yeah,
I thought it was like a thing I was missing out on, you know? And then as an adult, you know, and then I started understanding bootleg stuff or whatever. But it was maybe like 2018 or something. I was really interested. I started becoming, well, that's always been a thing, but like, or at least for the last decade, at least like people who made this packaging art, you know, because there's some of that stuff, like especially the Micronaut stuff, the card art and everything. It's like these beautiful oil paintings, like almost Frazetta-esque. And I'm blanking on the name of the main artist, but the guy's work is amazing. And he was like, you know, he did sci-fi paperback covers and whatever, you know, just like a pulp artist that they had gotten to do the stuff. And I was like, and I was like, who painted this weird bootleg toy thing? Never found out. There's like no information on it at all. But I stumbled on this thing where this guy had made an action figure of one of the Lady Darth Vader that's on the case.
Sick.
And I was like, okay, I need that. And I got in touch with him. I saw it on Instagram. But no, I Googled it, and then it had his Instagram handle. Anyway, the story's way too long already. But so I contacted him on Instagram, and he's like, no, I made that, but I'm selling it through this guy, Dove Calamar, DK Toys. And I was like, okay. He was like, get a hold of him. He's selling them right now. Got a hold of him and did that. And then I'm trying to think of where I was going with this, but like, I think that was like my best entry point into this thing, because it was something that I had such a fascination with as a kid, and the fact that this guy made this figure. And I think it like opened my mind more than if I'd seen like, oh, somebody made like a Snake Plissken, which that's still cool. Mm-hmm. But it's like, this is such a deep cut, like weird thing that like probably not that many people knew. I don't know. Yeah, it was just like such a cool thing. And I was like, it'd be so cool to like get that figure and put it in that carrying case, and then like from there I was hooked. It was like, it was over. I bought that one, and he's since made, I think there's 6 of them at this point. He releases one maybe once a year or something, or
that's awesome.
And
that's great.
Yeah, dude.
But that was my entry point into that. And yeah, and I dabble with that. Like, my main art is other stuff, but I do really enjoy making toys when I can, only when I have a good idea, or what I think is a good idea.
Jaimie, what about you, man? Like, how did you stumble into this?
Well, I got into the Dooney and Moonies and all that stuff, I guess in the mid-noughts or whatever, and was painting on them. And then I just kind of stepped away from toys. And honestly, I was walking in Earth to Kentucky. And I was so, like, I went there the first time. I don't even think you were there. Like, the first time I just wandered in and looked around, and I fell in love with that shop in like 3 minutes. And I was like, all I want to do is do something that be in the shop. Like you, like, seriously, like, you'll never know how, like, that was so cool the first time I got like a toy in your shop. I was like, holy shit. Because I just fell in love with that place. So then I was like, well, I got to make a toy. And it, like, that's my problem, because I'm kind of like, I'm just tend to be a bit dumb. So I'm just sort of like, I don't know, I got to make a toy. So I'll just figure this shit out. And then I just went and made a toy. Like, that was it. I was like, oh, go buy shit and kit bash the shit out of it, I guess. So, and then I realized they're fun. So it's making the toy stuff now is like legit. Like, I'm very lucky in my art side of the world to do a lot of projects that are, that get out there, but they're also kind of stressful. And, I'm dealing with editors or people that run DVD companies or whatever. And that can be a lot. I'm not getting canceled with that one. We're just putting it like that. So it's just nice to be like, I don't know, I'm going to go to, the Dollar Tree and find some shit and make something crazy out of it,
Jamie's always a lot braver than me. I'm much more of a diva where, like, I don't want to get outside of things I'm not good at. And so I'm very intimidated with the idea of, like, building a toy, because I really want to, but I'm like, I'm going to suck at this. Because I was always terrible in school at, like, anything with sculpture or anything with, like, clay. And it was like, hey, we're going to work with clay in art class. I can make a baseball, a snake, or an ashtray. And, like, that's really it. So I've always been intimidated. But I'm always on the sidelines, like, that looks cool. That looks like it'd be fun, because it does look like it's way fun, and also just how unlimited the possibilities are, what you can do with art toys and what you can make and what you can Frankenstein together and paint and do. It looks like so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like punk rock in that way of, like, honestly, you don't have to be a great sculptor. You don't have to be there's so many things that you don't have to be able to do it. Like, know your 3 chords and, like, have like a good idea, and you can and you can do it,
and it's kind of like you were saying, like, it really, the trick is like, again, like, if you're gonna go out and play 3-chord punk rock, just look like you should be playing 3-chord punk rock, and everybody will just accept that that's what you're supposed to sound like. It's like,
there are some toy artists that base their whole career off just pretending like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the
to no one in particular.
Kind of being okay with that aesthetic. Not getting canceled.
Not getting canceled. No shots fired. Just
but
saying.
No, but I do think that there is a part of that. And again, like, if that's, it's cool if that is a part. Yeah. Like, there is artists that I really dig that do make these that they're very part. I'm like, there's obvious flaws in this, but that's a part of the beauty of it too. That.
It really is, and I think you were speaking to it earlier. Where like when somebody creates something that is like so niche that only a few people get it, but the people that get it, they love it.
They need it.
Because they're like, oh my god, you made this thing that I love. Like to this day, if I see anything Repo Man, the movie Repo Man, I'm like instantly, I'm like, I love this. This is great. Here's my wallet. Would you like my wallet?
Right.
Because I need to buy this thing now. Like this is incredible. Or anything Road Warrior, I'm just like, oh, obviously I need this right now.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, take this to me. I would like to have this now.
And I think that goes through like a lot of like DIY art. Like I always say, like I'm real lucky. Like I get to work with some people on zines and trade zines and things like that. And like there's a lot of times where I think if we were at a comic book convention and I showed off a like Cinema 187, he's not going to mind if I say this, like a Cinema 187 zine. They may look at that and be like, it's not Jim Lee. His art it's rougher. But at the same time, like I'm like, I like the energy off his pages 500 times more than, not a diss on Jim Lee, but it's just like, I like this energy more than I prefer a Jim Lee energy, And it's cool to me before that. And again, it's just like, if you can catch the right eye, whatever that aesthetic is, it reads to them. They appreciate it.
Yeah. By that same token, they're like, as you've probably seen, like, so many toy art, like it runs the gamut. Like there's some people that do these things that you go, I could see that in Target, or whatever, down to like, I always use this as an example of like, sort of like the Barris Bones one. There's one that like a dude took a clothespin and kind of painted it like a stormtrooper and put this like, painted this like card back and stuff. And, so it goes across this whole thing and nothing against, I really do love a well-executed toy that looks like it could be in a toy store, but I usually gravitate towards the things where you can kind of see the bones of it. Yeah. You can kind of see the work that went into it a little bit. And the imperfections are what makes something cool. Like, I think of that with everything, though. Yeah. I always think the flaws in something are what make it what it is, And
I think what you're describing is the difference between collecting original art and creating prints. Mm-hmm. Where, like, with original art, you are going to get fuck-ups. You are going to get things that aren't supposed to be there, but that's the reality of the situation because it's handcrafted. Versus prints where something has been taken into Photoshop and cleaned up or Illustrator. Yeah. And made sure that this was perfectly made for printing and this should be what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of original art. And I wish more people would collect original art because original art fucking rocks because original art has energy in it. I can't think of any original art that I don't have. I can't think of any original art that I have that I don't pass by it and I stop and look at it. I interact with it. I stare at it. I study it. There's every piece of my house that's original. I've looked over multiple times and just enjoyed that moment with it.
Yeah, I was just reading an interview with the creator of One Piece, the manga, and he does he did a million covers and everything. The guy's in his 80s now, but he's worked forever on that. But he was saying how, I appreciate digital art, but he was saying how, because someone was like, why don't you do digital? He does do digital a little bit, but they're like, why do you mostly do, paintings and markers and that? And he's like, I put a little bit of my soul in each piece I do, and I just feel that it'd be kind of a shame if there wasn't a physical object after that. And it's kind of like you say, like, not to get all hoo-ha, but there is like an energy that all of us as creators give to our pieces that, like, whether it is a very rough, toy or a very Target-sized toy, you can feel that energy. I do think that connects with people and viewers that appreciate it.
I get wigged out when I work with collectors and they commission me to do something want digital, but they're not using it for print, they're not using it for a storefront or they're not using it for a business, and I'm like, well, I can make this by hand or I can do it digital, and they're like, digital's fine, you just email it to me, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess, sure.
Do they print it out themselves?
Yeah.
Okay, so they just do a print.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is it just on their phone?
Yeah, because
I paid this guy for this picture of my screensaver. It's great,
But they print it out, and it's like, all right, man, cool. But that means I'm just I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take it in my iPad. I'm gonna program it to clean it up. It's gonna be.
You're like, I couldn't just put it on paper, right?
Yeah.
Hand you the
and also you would actually get you would get again the energy, the thing, this was this there was no tricks to this. There was no app to this. I didn't use a brush on Procreate that mimics like Kirby Crackle. Like, no, I literally made Kirby Crackle on this paper for you that you now have in your possession. And so, listener, I guess what I'm saying is buy original fucking art. It's way cooler. Like, it's just, and I get it. It's expensive. It's going to cost you like an extra $80 or whatever. But goddamn, like, it's so much better than getting digital art.
You know, in Empire Strikes Back, when Yoda explains the Force, you'll feel exactly what he's talking about when you touch an original piece, or you see the globs of paint kind of that were dripping off the side that they didn't want you to see. Or
like once you actually see texture, when you see something raised up like a quarter inch off of a canvas, you're like, oh,
it does affect you different. Yeah.
This is cool.
I always remembered like, when people would, especially when I was in art school, I just wasn't feeling the like fine art real type thing, but people would explain a Jackson Pollock to me, and I would see a photo in a book, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then the first time I actually was in front of a Jackson Pollock, I was like, oh, I totally get it. Like, this is a completely different experience.
That's a great example, actually, because I had the same experience with his work. Because
I
was always just like,
paint?
the
Okay.
drippy guy, that's fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
and then when you see it, you're like, oh, there's inches of paint on this. And, the texture and the buildup and that, you're like, I totally...
I mean, first guy to take the canvas off of the easel, put it on the ground. First guy to use the butt end of the paint sticks to create with. Love it. I don't understand why I need anybody else to replicate that, because I already seen it. I already know what it is, but a lot of people feel like they need to. Not my thing. But as far as Jackson Pollock goes as an artist, respect.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
Good. We'll wipe our heads. The Jackson Pollock lovers are just like, they're rear.
The abstract expressionists were like,
they're like, we are going to that house and knocking on that door.
With the torches. Yeah.
Well, something that's sad, I know this was off mic. We were talking about Comic Expo.
Yeah.
But I was listening to somebody talking about it's a guy who collects a lot of comic art, like original comic art. He's got like amazing stuff. But he was talking about how there is no more, talk indie comics, things like that, of course, but like, talking about like mainstream comic art, like it doesn't exist because it's all digital now.
No, you're right.
There's nothing, that makes me, it really kind of bums me out.
That is a bummer.
The one thing too is that, there is like a kind of a recent dust up because a lot of comic artists are coming out saying how, it's not a market where these people are making a lot of money. Even Batman, you're not making, a ton. And people were really at a lot of, kind of in a shitty spot with it. But like one thing of that it kind of, and there are a lot of younger artists especially kind of dealing with that. And a part that kind of drove me nuts was that exact fact, because it's like, I get as an artist, you're like, I gotta get this done, and digital is nicer and quicker. And I grew up, especially if you're a younger artist, you grew up drawing digital. I totally get that.
Right.
But I'm like, no one set you down as an artist. Like a business person needs to sit you down and go, okay, once that becomes paper, you make the money off the Batman printed, and then you make triple that off that paper. That piece of paper all of a sudden will be, like a collector. You almost want a collector to go up to him and be like, if that Batman page happened to be drawn on paper, like that's cheaper than your iPad, weird enough. Like you will make triple what DC just paid you for that page. And it is wild. And like you said, like these people are happy to pay money, those collectors, for that. And it's sad to kind of see like that kind of phase out, in that sense.
I think we might be experiencing a timeline though where maybe this will self-correct, because we saw the NFT market and we saw how that was pitched as like this multi-million-dollar, and it's immediately fucking nosedived. And in the reality of it all, if we live in a world where everything is digital and everything is streaming, and you don't own video games anymore, you stream them. You don't own movies anymore, you stream them. You don't own music anymore, you stream them. Artwork might be the last thing you own and can actually put up on a wall and you actually have. Yeah. So listener, again, buy original art. It's fucking cool and it looks cool and you're going to enjoy it. And it's way better than prints. And unless like you're doing like a screen print thing where it's like 1 of 50, then yeah, sure. Okay, go with screen prints. But as far as like, if you're going to buy a print for $10 or you're going to buy the original thing, just buy the original thing. It's way cooler.
Yeah. It's a conversation that Polly and I have a lot with the store. because we sort of see it as like the store is such an analog place, like by design.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
It's this analog place where people can we sell art. It's made by people that we love and that love to make art, and it's all tangible stuff, and it's all there's no there's no version of the store that exists in any sort of digital way. And I think that that's something that we are just really happy to have, something that brings like, it sounds so stupid, but everything that you were just saying,
You've created a hub. You've created a hub, and thank you for creating a hub.
Yeah.
Thank you for creating a place, a physical place where we can meet and we can talk and we can hang out and we can enjoy things together, because hubs don't exist. Like we found hubs online, and that was something we found 20, 30 years ago, but it's hard to find physical hubs now where we can actually come together and be face to face and talk and have interaction and have community. So thank you for making this.
yeah.
Like, and how did you make that jump? Like, how did you make that jump from collector to dealer, from collector to like, I need to open up a store space? Like, what made you fucking do this wild shit?
Well, it's exactly that though, is that like, so through, I got into a little bit with, getting to know Dove. And then through that, he started selling my stuff, even though I didn't make toys. But then through that, I met all these amazing people making all this amazing work. And we were like, the store also started out as like, it was supposed to be a hobby. It was supposed to be like a side thing. We were just going to open it on the weekends and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it was like, we just wanted to create a place that was filled with things that we loved, made by people that we were friends with. And honestly, the store wouldn't exist if we weren't friends with all of these people. And it just felt like a cool thing to do. And people got psyched to be like, to have their place or have the stuff that they made in like a brick and mortar store that was open year round, like not just selling it at a convention here and there or whatever. And that was exciting to us too. It's like, it was kind of a fun thing to be like, this is going to be like like Toys R Us, but it's all this handmade stuff, all these handmade toys or whatever. It just seemed like a really fun thing. And like all the people that we've met, I mean, I wouldn't be here right now, met so many amazing people and become really good friends with people that I'm so glad are in my life. But it was all through doing the store. And that's what keeps the store going, because it's no, it's not a super lucrative thing, but all of the excitement of having it comes from the relationships and even the people that we don't know that come in off the street. And like you were saying earlier, they come in, they're like, I don't know what any of this is, but this is kind of cool. Yeah. And then they're like, cool. I'll buy a t-shirt because they were like, they want to like support it, even though they're like, I don't understand it. And that's amazing. It's cool to see people's minds get blown sometimes by.
Yeah. And I think that's like a important thing is like, again, like your shop is in Covington, and Covington's such an interesting area. Like, I mean, I'm probably biased, being born and raised there, but I think that it's like when you walk into something cool, even if it is like, I don't get this, but I'm going to just buy some t-shirt that's got the logo, because again, I'm just supporting something cool. Like,
right.
The idea of like, no matter whether you walk back in or not, I don't want this ever to stop existing. So while I'm here, I'm going to support it some way or another, because it's cool. And like, the world doesn't give a lot of that, so it is great to have shops like that and storefronts and just oddity places,
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the things, like when I was a kid and I was like living in the middle of nowhere, like I love going to cities for was finding places like this where it was like, oh shit, it's the weird stuff I love, and there's like a whole store of it, and like people are hanging out here and it's a thing, and it's so cool. And also just having a place to go to for like openings and stuff. Like that's something that Cincinnati is missing. I'm very disillusioned with the Cincinnati art scene. Where like it seems like we have Arts Wave and we have Blink, and then that's kind of it. Yeah. And it's just I feel like you're feeling a real void where you're like, hey, there's actual real art going on. Like, here's something cool where you can physically come to it and see it. That's not just an online thing, and it is actually, giving people a space and a home. And again, I thank you for that, because it's something that's missing right now, modern in the modern world of this. Like, what was it, like First Fridays, Final Fridays, whatever,
Final Fridays,
Final Fridays.
and
Yeah. I mean, it just
that was Cincinnati.
yeah,
Downtown.
and there was like the whole thing before, like we used to hang out with Mason at his spot, and like there was a bunch of galleries down there that were weird and shit, and that's just kind of dried up, and it really is a thing where I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's a Midwest thing or what the fuck it is, but it's like people love the murals and they love like the once or twice a year like art things, but continually to have art stuff, it's missing, and we need it. We need to figure out a way to like get art in front of people so people can interact with it more than once or twice a year.
Yeah, and again, it's like you said, it's the average person that's maybe bar hopping for the night, but they go a little bit more south.
Right.
Main Strauss all of a sudden walks into this place and like, I don't know who any of this shit is, but it's just kind of cool.
It's cool.
Because that's the thing. I don't know many people that wouldn't walk into a shop like yours and not be like, yeah, this is cool. There's an ET statue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
there's so much pop culture stuff. It's very accessible. Like, even if you don't know what it is, you're like, oh, fuck, I recognize this. I know what this is.
But the trick is just getting everybody through the door, right?
Yeah. Get them in
Yeah.
Getting them to hang out and interact.
I will say too, one of the best things about your shop is that I think we've all brought it up before. It's like before your shop, it was like if to go to a gallery that would have toys and like pop culture art and things. The closest one I'm familiar with is Rotofugi, which is Chicago.
Yeah,
and Rotofugi is a great shop. Like they are a really awesome
Love it.
shop. Every time I've been there, I've been blown away. My ex's family is from Chicago, and every time we would visit, we made it a point to go there and always had a good time. And
even that time I allegedly shoplifted from them and felt really bad about it.
oh yeah, Tank is a horrible thief. Yeah,
I'm very, very bad.
horrible criminal. Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly. Yeah. But
Allegedly, there was a time we went there, and allegedly they had these like different toy things that you could
the blind boxes.
the blind boxes, and so I pulled one out allegedly, and I didn't like what I got, and then there was an alien on the counter, and you couldn't trade them, but I really wanted so I allegedly grabbed it, and then we walked out, and then allegedly as we were walking back to the car, as I was talking to you and Ian, I was allegedly really melding down about allegedly taking
we had allegedly
something
talked
from
you
them.
off a ledge on that one.
Yeah.
It was-
So
I mean, he was going allegedly straight to the police station to turn himself in for the.
allegedly Rotofugi, I'm very sorry about this whole thing. Allegedly, I didn't.
I have a
mean
feeling
any
with
harm.
between the 4 people that were with us and all the money we invested in Rotofugi that day, they were probably fine and happy with.
Not allegedly, we did buy a lot of shit that day.
Yeah,
Trust me.
trust me. It was,
We did turn down
everybody
those-
walked out with a bag.
Everybody walked out with a bag.
packed bag. So.
But I'm just saying.
Tank is allegedly the reason that we have cameras in our store
That's
now.
a good plan.
Good idea.
Never
Very-
trust bald tattooed guys. I'm
Never.
telling you, that's
Don't.
just-
Yeah. Always trouble. 100%. As we've learned from 80s action adventure movies,
It's true.
bald
It's true.
tattoo guys, always trouble.
Me and Tank are good extras for a John Wick movie. Just saying.
Very good. If you need us, we're there.
We're there.
I hope that my squeaking. I've noticed that sometimes
Oh,
I get
we all
real excited
squeak,
and
yeah.
I start like moving.
Yeah,
and
they all have a bit of squeak to them. So.
Sick. That guys, we're talking squeaking on the cast right now.
Squeak.
Listener, what's your favorite kind of squeak?
There's a joke there. I'm gonna let it slide. So.
No, Jamie, please lean into the joke. Funny first, always on the podcast. Always funny first. All right, so talking about owning your own place, what was it like teaming up with Jonathan Queen to do the Shogun Sanders piece?
It was like, it's gonna sound like hyperbole, but it was a dream come true. Like, I love Jonathan. It's another person that I met through the shop. He came in for one of the art openings, and I met him for like 2 seconds, and I didn't even realize that he was the Jonathan Queen that did the Kenner mural downtown until we started talking more and becoming, you know, he's a good friend, and his work is amazing. And that whole mural started off as a joke because we were always saying, like, Jonathan, one day, you know, I mean, we never really thought it would happen, but like one day we'll have you do a mural on the side and all this stuff. And he was like, yeah, cool. And one time he was like, yeah, I was thinking about like a giant Shogun Warriors Colonel Sanders. And we are like, yeah, that would be amazing. And then, no joke, it was like 3 weeks later or something that Covington announced they were doing like these quality of place grants, if nobody can see my air quotes, but where they were giving out money for people to do murals and do different things to like sort of spruce up the neighborhood. And so we immediately were like, okay, Shogun Sanders, let's do this, you know. And we were actually getting ready. It was November last year because we were getting ready to. Jonathan was coming with us, the whole family. We all went out to Designer Con in Anaheim, and we were like, okay, before we leave, like we're leaving really soon, but like you got to throw something together. They just need some kind of, you know, mock up or whatever. And sure enough, he knocked one out, and we sent in the paperwork, and we were in Anaheim every day. Like, okay, I wonder if we're gonna hear something, you know. So I feel extremely lucky that they gave us that money and that Jonathan was willing to do it, and all the things kind of came together. But I think with Jonathan, because a lot of people applied for those grants, and I think that they saw that as like, you know, to have a Jonathan Queen mural in Covington be pretty great. And I think that irony is sort of lost on some people. Like the whole idea is sort of funny that he did this like renowned Kenner mural downtown that's like all these toys that everybody knows, these manufactured toys that have a nostalgic place for the most part and stuff. And then in Covington on our little bootleg toy store, he did a giant painting of a bootleg toy, you know? So that part of it is never not sort of funny to me. But yeah, the mural's amazing. And we're right now, maybe this is too much information, but like we had some lighting people come out. Like the whole idea always was that it would be lit up at night, because that our little section of Main Strasse, you know, we're kind of like the edge, the sort of like darkness on the edge of town kind of thing. Super dark down there. But when they did the lighting and it didn't quite work, and so it hasn't been lit yet. And so they're coming out, I think next week maybe, to do a different thing with that. So I'm really excited. Yeah, like I still feel like it's not all the way complete until we get that, like,
sure,
because it's beautiful when you're driving down, you're like 5 blocks away, you can see it. And I just think at night that's going to look so cool because you won't be able to see anything but this giant Shogun Warriors Colonel Sanders
just hanging out.
Yeah, it's going to be like a Las Vegas casino light where that's all you see as you pass by.
It goes back to our people are like, I don't get it, but it's cool.
Like, absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to understand anything. You're in Kentucky. There's a Colonel Sanders. Yeah. It's a Shogun. What the fuck do you want? Yeah.
Like, I mean, to be fair, cool. If you're in that part of town, you might be a bit inebriated enough to be like, that's the greatest shit ever right there.
Who is that?
Yeah, you immediately go,
I remember that toy as a kid. Yeah. Sure you do.
How no one has this as a half sleeve yet, I don't know. Like,
it's pretty awesome.
Like, if I had the room, like, this is something you could definitely work in as like a very super cool piece. Listen, if you're from Kentucky and you don't have a half sleeve, get the Shogun Sanders.
There we go.
It fucking rocks. Yeah, I think it's a super cool piece. I really love the entire way this thing went down with like the install videos you did online of it and showing how it was put in. Jonathan's work on it. It's such an incredible piece. Hats off to both of you, man. It's really cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, super lucky. We're super lucky.
All right, so because we are in spooky season, thank you, Jaimie.
You're welcome.
That's
what I'm here for. This is why he actually invited me out.
That's why you're here for the month.
He's like, you want to come hang out in a month and go, woo? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, that's fine.
Hell yeah, dude. Awesome.
He's like, look, you live like 5 minutes away. You can come to my house and go, ooh, once a week. I'm like, all right, yeah, I get it. That's cool, man.
Show up on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's fine.
Help me out here.
It's Tuesday. You ain't doing nothing. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So,
do you have like any favorite horror toys?
Wow, that's a good question.
Or sci-fi? We're going to be very open. Or cult?
Well, wait. Let me ask you this first. Is Alien...
Well, Alien covers everything.
Yeah, but do you consider that more... Like, if you had a video store, Would you put that in horror or sci-fi? There's
I
no
mean,
wrong answer.
If Tank owned a video store, he would just have an alien section. That would,
yeah,
that's true.
he would have a copy in every section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Romance, you know.
If Jaimie had a video story, it would just all be behind a beaded curtain.
You're not right. You are correct, sir.
Dude, Jaimie, please open a fucking VHS store called the Beaded Curtain.
That's my retirement plan, my man.
Where you have
Beaded
to-
curtain.
Where you have to walk through a beaded curtain just to get into the VHS
Like
store.
20 years when I finally retire, that's the goal.
Oh, dude, that's the move. Like,
That's a business move. I'm going to go to the bank. I'm like, so.
so, I have bought 28,000 porn DVDs.
VHSs, man. We're
VHSs.
Going, yeah, we're going traditional.
Clamshell. You know what I'm talking about. Quality. You know what I'm talking about, Chase Bank. Anyways, so I'm going to open this thing called the Beaded Curtain, where I have a 350-pound bouncer on the outside. Anybody team can't get in. After that, come behind the curtain.
Now that whole thing makes sense where he's like, everything's digital, but it'll swing back the other way.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the
I'm
context
just trying
yet.
to get the
okay,
market.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Dude,
greasing the wheels.
You could get a Shogun, Jenna Jameson on the side of the building. Like,
Oh, yes. Don't tempt me.
there's so many ways you can go with this. It makes so much sense.
I'll give you Jonathan's number.
Sweet. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Jenna.
Then
get
one
Jonathan.
day, the Colonel and the Jenna both get hit with lightning that brings them back
They come to life.
and they battle each other over Covington.
Oh goddamn! That's like that's a modern version of Kong versus Godzilla right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, good thing you said Covington, because that's the only place the beaded curtain could open and,
You're
and
not wrong.
thrive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where
no
the-
one would even blink.
That's
They're
where the
like,
beaded
oh, yeah.
curtain should be.
Yeah, you'd be right between us and Hale.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Oh. So all right. So what about
Oh yeah.
So what about like horror, sci-fi? Like, is there anything you have that in the shop right now, or just in the personal collection that you're super into?
Man, I'm a little bit on the spot, but and this is like old news. This is not something I would normally talk about, but we were. I have a guy's collection. He's sort of selling it off through us. It's a lot of NECA and some other stuff that we're sort of selling on consignment for him. And the other day I was going through some of the tubs looking for some horror stuff because he's had a lot of stuff. And so this is like Ash versus Evil Dead, which I actually haven't seen, but I'm a huge Evil Dead 2 guy.
Yeah.
Growing up, Evil Dead 2 was like, my brother and I watched it all the time. And even Army of Darkness, I love that movie. But the figure, man, NECA does such a great job. Say what you will about, whatever. Man, the facial expressions on this thing are just spot on. It's great. And actually, we just sold a NECA Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's the 3 little kids
Yeah.
with
Oh,
the
yeah.
masks.
I got that upstairs.
That set is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's really great.
It's hot.
It's so good.
It's the only thing I've ever bought from Target where I purposely kept it in the box because I was like, I saw it at Target and I was like, this is an investment. I'm not super into this movie. I like it, but I don't love it. But I also realize there's people that love this thing. I'm going to buy it, and I'm just going to flip this on the market in 2 to 3 years. And it was the first toy I've ever bought where I did that because I was just like, I recognize what this is, and this is a good investment.
This is where Jaimie sings the song
I know.
from the movie.
Oh, no. Dude, we're not going to have me ruin this. It is my favorite Halloween movie, though.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. It really is.
Oh, Halloween the franchise. I thought you were...
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, I have so many favorite Halloween, like the holiday movies. But no, Halloween 3 is my favorite of the franchise, yeah.
Yeah, it is really good. It is.
Yeah, again, half of the people listening to this are like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Michael Myers. I'm like, I get it. You're not wrong, but that's tell me what I like.
No, I mean, I think I'm in line with you, but...
Yeah, no, it really is a bummer that the Halloween series never got to be what it was supposed to be. Like, because of the whole thing with the first movie was such a success, they were like, we need a sequel. And it was like, yeah, it's Halloween 3. And it's like, yeah, well, and it's like, no, you got to make a sequel to the Michael Myers thing. And then, okay, now you can try your thing. And it's just like, just totally fucked it.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer because three rocks.
3 is awesome.
3 is wild. There was so much wild shit going on throughout
Yeah.
that movie.
It's all over. Yeah.
Like, masks are eating children's heads.
Yeah.
Like, that's happening.
That's a weird Celtic ritual thing, but through a factory.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's like, you don't want to talk about that movie out loud because then it's just like, no, well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing where, like, they trap the family in the room, like the guy who's number one seller.
Yeah.
And then you watch him and, like, his kid die in front of him. And then, like, the snakes and the spiders from the mask take him and his wife out. And it's like, holy shit, dude. What the fuck, John Carpenter? Like, what are we doing here?
Special time.
Yeah. So, all right. So, what kind of collaborations do you enjoy in, like, the vinyl art toy world? So, like, what do you get excited for when you see it come out as a toy? Is there stuff that you seek out that you collect? As a toy collector myself, like, I'm a Leatherface, Xenomorph Predator guy, and also Jason. Like, that's what I try to find. I'll also try to seek Super Mario if I can find that anywhere. And then just weirdness. Do you have anything that you're seeking out?
Not especially. It's weird because things sometimes just hit that, whatever that is that I'm looking for, that's like not able to put into words. But sometimes it's the real obscure stuff that I love. And this, again, like, this is, we were talking about Super 7 earlier. And not to say anything bad about them, because I love them and I think so much of what they do is great. I'm just saying I don't have a more sort of DIY answer to this, but when they started doing the pre-orders, it hasn't come out yet, or hasn't started shipping yet. They did a Shogun Warriors sized Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
That just, I can't wait for that thing. That's one of the toys I've been most excited about. But it's that kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of Mechagodzilla figures and stuff, but it's like, that's the one that I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just
the
like
size, the look, everything works for it.
Yeah, and just how it's so, it could have come out during that line. It's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I always look for stuff that, I'm a fan of weird stuff, like, and not on purpose, but like when I was a kid, for whatever reason, Howard the Duck. I loved Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Solid weird thing to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the movie was way fun.
Allison would be so happy right now. She loves Howard the Duck.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And people are like, that movie sucks. And I'm like, it doesn't though. And I don't know. Alf, E.T. I love weird bootleg E.T.s. I like it because the design of E.T. is so, they like kind of nailed this thing where he still could kind of be cute or something,
right.
I guess, or whatever. But you just change it a little bit and it's like, it's horrific.
Yeah.
And so, and I kind of love that stuff where it's like, what happened to him?
Tank and I have a friend, Sydney, who's like terrified of E.T.
Yeah.
Like uncontrollably terrified of E.T.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that when I first met her, and somebody was like, said something about E.T. and I made like even bringing it up, and she was like deadpan, like, no, we don't talk about that.
It's so weird. We've had some people come into the store that are like, ugh, E.T.
Yeah, it really creeps them out. And
We
you
had-
wonder that, like, were you just like so young that you felt that was a horror film? Like when you watched it,
Yeah.
like, how's that work?
Well, there is that whole scary part where, like, E.T. gets raided and taken out by, like, the FBI or whatever in the suits and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I guess there's some intense scenes
there's
in
some
that movie.
intense stuff, but that is a weird thing where, like, E.T.'s freaking, I don't know. When I was a kid, I was scared of live action Spider-Man and Hulk. Like, I was scared of that. I was like, oh my God, this is way too intense for me. Which is then funny because then when I'm a teenager, like, I'm watching people get sawed in half and eaten and all this stuff.
Sure, and you're like, yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah, this is fine. This is totally cool. Yeah.
You're like, I don't want that Green Hawks toy, but definitely give me that leather face.
Yeah, 100%.
It comes with a bucket of heads. That's great.
We had a lady come into the store that hated E.T. and she was like, it's like somebody combined an earthworm with a penguin. And I was like, wow, that's such a crazy,
You're not wrong.
that's like
Yeah.
a really
Actually,
accurate description.
100%.
Remember the Earthworm Jim?
Yeah,
video
oh,
game?
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that could be E.T.'s cousin. Yeah.
definitely. Well, look, guys, as we start to close up tonight, was there anything that we didn't hit you wanted to talk about when talking about vinyl toys? Any kind of series we didn't hit or anything else?
It's just a cool role to go down to. If anyone in the listening audience isn't familiar, like, check them out. Go to the Earth to Kentucky website and just look through the stuff.
100%.
Like, yeah, again, I think there's a lot of people that go, I don't like toys. I don't collect toys. That's not my thing. And I get, if you're walking through Target, that's not your thing. But maybe going to that website and just seeing how far out and what people try and things like that might catch your interest. It might be your thing, you know?
Yeah, and I would say even like listener, just to even start, just go into the toy aisle at Target. Like, just kind of go see what modern sculpts look like,
true.
and see what toys are now today. Because if you haven't played with toys in like 10 years, 20 years, whatever, it's kind of a different thing now. And then also check out stuff like Earth to Kentucky, where it's toys, but it's also art, it's sculpture, it's a weird mixture of things. Like, I guarantee you're gonna find something cool. All right, guys. So, final question: what's the future? Like,
Origin apocalypse of doom.
I was
Fighting AI.
Have you seen Megan?
Yeah,
yeah.
At this point, I really think we're entering into Horizon Zero Dawn, where I'm gonna have to like have a bow and arrow to shoot a fucking laptop that's part deer. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of Terminator, and there's also a lot of global warming, and it's gonna be a party. But no, what do you guys do you guys have any like grail things that you're trying to get into your toy collection? Is there something that you would want to have, or is there something that you wish would be made? What's kind of the next few years look like?
Well, I have the Mondo Rodan coming to me from San Diego Comic-Con. I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah, I again, like, for my own toy collect, like for things I bring in my house, it's very limited anymore. I don't have a tremendous amount of space, and again, it's that quality over quantity thing. My goal for hopefully in the next, I'm really pushing for this goal, is I want to, in the next few years, find myself over in Japan. And that's when I will not be concerned. I mean, it'll be what toys I find and I can fit in that suitcase type of thing. Because that aesthetic is very pleasing to me as far as the way their toys are and stuff. So just trying to find some weird kaiju. Like, love kaiju toys, and, you know, definitely probably the goal was something like that. And or a Zinger, like, you know, from my childhood.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Dustin, what about you, man? Like, what do you want to do next?
Well, I'm hoping to get invited to Japan with Jaimie.
Yeah, let's go.
Sick. Good idea.
That is definitely on my
I feel like it'd be a
list.
lot. Yeah, like if you and I went there, we'd be really poor.
I want
Yeah.
By the time we left.
I also want to go to Japan. Like,
There we go.
you guys like want to go to like a New Japan wrestling match and
Yeah.
like go buy some toys.
I'm into it.
Sounds like a good day.
All right, cool.
Seriously.
All right, guys, let's get off mic. Let's get an Airbnb. But what else, man? Like, what else would you like to do?
That's such a, my aspirations sort of spread all over the place. So it's, it's just a matter of like doing the work, making things happen. But
Has there ever been anything that you haven't been able to obtain yet that you wish that you want to obtain? Like, is there a Grail toy out there? Is there something that's like, at some point I want to own this thing?
yeah, but it seems kind of silly because it's probably stuff that I could get, and I just can't make myself do it yet. But I will say, and this will kind of go against something that I just said about the giant Mechagodzilla, but one of my favorite woodcut artists, this guy Peter Santamaria. I don't know if you've seen this, Jaimie. He goes by Attack Peter.
Oh,
But-
dude,
Oh, yeah,
his stuff
yeah.
rules.
Yeah, they're releasing that Mechagodzilla that's based
Yeah.
on his woodcut
The
print.
Mondo
Yeah,
one?
Yeah,
the
because
white one.
I have the Godzilla one, and this is like
so
the
pretty.
the
Yeah.
pair to that,
Yes, buy all of this.
and I need it so bad. And Peter's, I've met Peter a few times, and he's like the nicest guy, and he's one of the most talented
Yeah.
woodcut artists I've ever seen in America. Anyway,
Yeah, I saw that come across my emails today, that toy, and I was like, oh, Lord. It
Yeah,
is
the
gorgeous.
pre-orders opened today, I think.
Yeah.
So, and they close on Friday. So this is one of those things where I have to, Polly, if you're listening, I'll be doing whatever you need me to do to make this happen.
Hell yeah, dude. 100% co-signing on this. That's awesome. I'm in this boat where like I love that kind of shit, and I can't pull the trigger on it, but I am so excited for you right now because
Yeah.
you are getting like such a cool quality thing. Like that thing rules. Like all the stuff Attack Peter does is incredible. Like I love his work. I love his sense of contrast, the way he balances black and white back and forth. You know, it's just so good.
Again, this goes, like Tink brought up, does this bring you joy? Like, I couldn't fathom a time if that was in my just natural eye set, and it wouldn't bring me joy to look at that. Like, yes, it's Mecha Godzilla. Look how cool it is, you know.
Well, and it's just such a striking design where, like, if anybody comes into your house, they're going to meet the scene, they're going to focus in on it. Like, there's no way they can't look at this thing because, like, you must interact with it because it's such a cool piece of art.
Yeah. And pop culture, I always feel like Godzilla holds it's a perfect thing to be a toy. Like, it is, especially if you're a certain age where you grew up with, like, normal TV and or, like, the beginning of cable, where those movies were just like Saturday afternoon, you know, your childhood was Saturdays. It was that or a Kung Fu movie was the end of the day. And it's just like, it has that hold to it.
It's also
You never go wrong with Godzilla.
Godzilla is Kaiju Hulk Hogan. Like, who is beating him?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's beating Godzilla. Like,
Right.
it's just not. Like, fuck with him. What are you going to do? Like, are you going to put a Predator against him? Fucked. An Alien? Fucked. Like, what are you putting against Godzilla that's actually going to take him out? Like, King Kong's the closest thing. King Kong does not have the skill set to deal with what Godzilla is bringing to the party. No. Like, Godzilla has range with the tail whip. I mean, that's a jab. That's what that is. He's just keeping people on the outside. He's working people. He also has fire breath. Like, and then if you're going to get in close, now you're dealing with an armored core on top of claws and like, major fucking fangs. Then again, if he bites down you, he's going to blow radioactive fire into your neck. Who's fucking with him?
Why it's the king of monsters. I mean, as the movie says.
Yeah, 100%. Godzilla forever. Yeah. Listener, if you don't know, what you into is pro Godzilla.
We are
very pro Godzilla.
Yeah. All the King Kong fans are just canceling this right now.
Yeah, whatever. Cancel away, King Kong fans. This is a Godzilla podcast.
Yeah, what's King Kong gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, scratch his ass and go up on the
King
Empire State
Kong
Building.
fought like a giant snake. Godzilla took out Hedorah. There's no contest. It doesn't happen.
There's not. Yeah, come on. What are you going to deal with here? Toy collection wise, still like I want to keep getting weird art toys. Like that's kind of weird. Like I'm pushing towards now because like there's only like so much shit that NECA is gonna make or whoever's gonna make where it's gonna be some type of like Alien or Leatherface or J-Stoy or whatever. But and then also I want to get something weird. And then there's also the thing too where like I cannot afford statues.
Yeah.
Like holy shit, dude. Like this was on the Dave Powell podcast we did where we were talking about like so there's some kind that made like 2 Leatherface statues. They're $1,500 a piece. So if you buy like it's like you get the original mask, Texas Chainsaw Leatherface, like in the beginning of the movie, and you also get the pretty lady in the last third of the movie where he's like chasing the truck away. You get both of those, and they look great. They're incredible. There's fucking hair and
it's also $1,500.
$1,500 a piece. I can't pull the trigger, man. Yeah. It's insane. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, where am I gonna put this in my house? Like, how do I display this? Like, is my wife really gonna let me put this on the coffee table? Like, come on. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, what am I gonna do with this? So yeah, I want to get some new stuff, but I also
maybe you just invest in that beautiful Mecha Godzilla. I feel like that's coffee table ready there.
And that's true. Again, you got to find something with the governor where you can get it into the regular.
I feel the governor looks at that and says, "That is an art piece. That is aesthetically different. It's again, if someone doesn't know what it is, they'll still say it's pretty. As compared to Leatherface, they're like, that is a statue of a chainsaw." person holding a chainsaw. That's a little harder to sell.
100%. Listener, learn how to sell your governor.
Got to sell the governor.
Well, look, guys, thank you so much for doing the podcast. This was so much fun. Jaimie, let people know where they can find you out online.
I am Jaimie, JAIMIE_Filer. I've been really horrible on Instagram because I'm lazy, but like we're in Inktober for most people, but I call it Draw Spooky Shit. So in October, I should be posting every day, a drawing every day, something spooky.
Dustin, man, where can people find you online?
Okay, so you can see my art at Blockwatch Captain. That's right?
Yeah, 100% is right.
Okay.
Because it's one of the things I really enjoy following on Instagram. Whenever you post, I'm like, fuck yeah, awesome.
And then you can find the store at either earth2kentucky.com with a number 2 in the middle there, or same spelling at earth2kentucky on Instagram.
Hell yeah. Listener, you can find me at Neil to Know on Instagram. You can also go there to find my link tree for any of my other shit that I'm doing. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you have friends that are into collecting toys, please share it with them. And let them know that, I don't know, there's over 100 of these podcasts now. They're evergreen. Each one is its own thing. And there's a little something for everybody. Algorithms suck, but word of mouth is king. Guys, thanks a lot for coming in. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks,
Thank
bud.
you so much for having me.
And
Appreciate
listener,
it.
peace.
Peace.